I used to hate giving feedback until I learnt about these 3 questions. G'day, Stephen O'Sullivan here from Building Great Businesses. If you don't know me, I'm the owner of Australia's largest driving school and also coach people to build businesses that work without them. So today we're talking about giving feedback to your team. Do you ever get that sense that you're watching your team, they aren't performing, they're not behaving right, they're making mistakes, you're thinking it, but you pause before you actually tell them what you actually think of their performance. You want to give them that feedback, you want them to get better, but you don't want to come off as the deliverer of bad news. It's really uncomfortable for you, it's really uncomfortable for them, and if you just go in there and tell them what's going wrong, tell them the impacts, and then tell them how to fix it, you're unlikely to get any change out of that employee. So what do? There are 3 questions that we ask. They're the same 3 questions, okay? The first question is, what happened? The second question is, what are the impacts? And the third question is, what are you going to do to fix it or make sure it doesn't happen again? Let's look at each of those in depth. So the first question, what happened, is really designed to get your team member, your staff member engaged with the thing we're talking about. It's getting them talking about it. Now this might give you a little bit more insight into what that team member is thinking and doing around this performance area, but more importantly, when they're talking, they're thinking. And that's where we want them, really focused in on the situation. So the next question is, what are the impacts? This is where we want our direct report, not us. We want them to feel some emotional charge, some negativity around their previous performance or behavior. Because if the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change, we will get change out of people. So we actually want them to feel some negative energy around this. And that's why we ask, what are the impacts? And look, you can riff with this question. What are the impacts on your team? What are the impacts on the business? What are the impacts for your role and your future promotions? What are the impacts for our customers? There are lots of them. And you want to get your team member saying them back to you. If they're saying, remember, they're thinking. And the last question is, you don't give the answers here. You've got to get them to say the answer. Is helping them come up with their plan. And the question is either, if it's something like horrible that you don't want to see again, is what are you going to do to ensure it never happens again? What are you going to do to ensure it stops? What are you going to do to fix it? So you're getting them to come up with a plan, to come up with the change that you want to seek in them. Now you'll notice that we're only asking questions. There's only 3 of them and we're not telling. The essence of good management, and in particular, giving good feedback, is asking questions. That way, you're not delivering the message, you're helping your direct report come up with the answers themselves, thinking through it, emotionally feeling something so that they change, coming up with their own plan for the future. Simply, it's a case of follow up after that. So try them out. Just in recap, if you don't want to be the bad guy, but you want to give feedback, you're thinking it, you have to say it, we're going to use these 3 questions. What happened? What are the impacts? And what are you going to do to ensure it never happens again? See you next time.